Thanks for joining us tonight. Here at Bull Rush, what we're attempting to do is define Ozark cuisine. And for us, that means going back to what we call the origin story of the Ozarks, which is that time and place where the Osage Nation first began interacting with European settlers, and those settlers oftentimes would bring the enslaved. And those three distinct cultures come together in the late 18th, early 19th century for the first time, and all have contributions to what we now think of as the food of the Ozark Plateau. And so by looking at those three distinct cultures and that place and time, we're able to then take contemporary food techniques, contemporary fashion around food, what we like and dislike, and present a very contemporary meal, but everything is tied to the past and everything is tied to research. All of our research is done through archives, not textbooks, so we prefer letters and journals from the time period, and we take that and apply a technique called midrash. Those of you who are familiar with Hebrew scripture will recognize that term. Midrash is when you fill in the gaps. So in that case, in Hebrew scripture, you have what's written, and then you fill in the gaps in between to tell more of the story. But it's not making things up. It's using history and educated knowledge to fill in those gaps, but ultimately to have a complete story to tell that makes sense. So that's what we do here with Ozark Foods as well. But this isn't a classroom. This is a dinner. We hope you're here to enjoy and hopefully learn a little bit. This first course tonight, this is a celebration of apples. Apples are a big part of the Ozarks. Back in the day, it was the nation's leader in cider production, primarily hard cider, but not exclusively. And there's one particular apple that's a lot of fun that's specific to the Ozarks, and that's called the Arkansas Black. That's not quite in season. That'll come later in the year when we get closer to winter. Apples like that make a lot of sense because they're not so good off the tree, but they're really delicious once they've been turned into a cider. So here we have assorted local apples. They've been compressed with a variety of things. There is sous vide cooked celery root, salinated oyster mushroom broth with a sumac consommé, buttermilk, and fennel. Anyway, that's a lot in one little line, but I hope you enjoy, and if you have any questions, please do let us know.